Former P&G Chairman, President, and CEO Bob McDonald steps down as Secretary of the Veterans Administration the day after tomorrow. McDonald stepped in to lead the VA at a time of turmoil and controversy. The 9 on Your Side I-Team and Scripps National Bureau reported extensively about the problems with patient care and wait times. To fix the problems at the VA hospital here, McDonald appointed retired Army Colonel Vivian Houston.
I think the new medical center director, Vivian Hudson, is off to a great start. She spent her entire Thanksgiving Day in the facility, talking to veterans, talking to employees. She is the kind of selfless leader that we want, and everybody I've talked to says she's off to a great start.
And she is in charge of a budget topping more than $370 million and a staff of more than 2,000 people. So now, as McDonald's tenure as VA Secretary comes to an end, he talked exclusively to WCPO digital business reporter Dan Monk. Of course he did, and Dan joins me now. So, okay, what is the status of the VA's investigation of the Cincinnati Medical Center?
Well, there's a report that's due back any day now to the VA Central Office. And this is the report of a formal board of inquiry that took testimony from VA whistleblowers in the fall. And they're going to draw their conclusions and submit them to the VA Central Office, after which people who are named in the report will have a chance to respond. So in the next, say, several weeks, we should know the final answer from the VA on the problems raised by whistleblowers, whether they were legitimate, and if so, who gets punished.
So much turmoil when Bob McDonald took over the VA post. Yeah. Where does it stand now? How are things with the VA overall?
Kind of depends on who you ask.
Sure.
I mean, there are groups like Concerned Veterans for America who think there are still a lot of problems at the VA and that Bob McDonald hasn't fixed them. But, you know, the Harvard Business Review in November wrote a case study on the transformation that Bob McDonald led. And, you know, he has evidence to support his claims. Disability claims, the backlog of disability claims are way down, like 90% down. Mm-hmm. The number of homeless veterans has been cut in half since 2010. He's improved access to care. He's hired thousands of nurses, and he's made management changes there that he thinks will be permanent changes going into the future.
Essentially, the person who is his assistant, David Shulkin,
yeah,
if I'm saying that right,
takes
over as head of the VA. So do we expect the same trajectory then?
That's certainly what Bob McDonald thinks. Yes. And I'm not, it's really not clear because Shulkin has given testimony. He's been in support of the My VA program that Bob McDonald instituted. And it appears as if it's going to be more of the same with David Shulkin. But you know, he's his own man, and he hasn't testified yet, and so we'll have to see how it evolves over time.
Time will tell. Okay,
yeah.
What about Bob McDonald and his future?
Well, he's going to spend some time in Cincinnati, that's for sure. He says he wants to take his time and figure out what he wants to do next, but he wants to stay here, you know, for the long term, and he's looking forward to the marriage of his son and, you know, maybe some grandkids.
Well, you know what, in fact, I think you did. We have a little soundbite of what he is saying exactly he wants to do, so let's listen to this.
All right.
I need to spend some time with my family. I'd like to enjoy my 3 grandchildren. My son is getting married, and I'm thrilled about that. He's obviously marrying a lady from Cincinnati who we all love deeply, and looking forward to enjoying some of those things for a while.
I bet he will. I mean, time to take a breath. Dan has so much more about former VA Secretary Bob McDonald and the legacy he leaves right here in the Queen City. It's all on WCPO.com, including more of that sound with Bob McDonald. And meanwhile, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We want to